let's just move on to the next story. We have a story about Dwyane Wade. Should we talk about, which one should we talk about first? Okay, yeah. So Dwyane Wade was on a show. Dwyane Wade has a son, decided that they want to live as a female. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go ahead and watch a video where, they appear at some event. I guess this is a birthday party, something like this. And you're going to watch and see how it...
Oh, that's good. We're talking about Dwyane Wade's daughter. Stop the show. You see how I called that? Daughter. Politically correct. Zaya. Now, Zaya used to be a boy called Zaya, but Zaya was like, sad music, I just don't feel comfortable like this. I want to change. So fast forward. So now, Zaire, see him there, became Zaya. Got that? Storytime music. But then Zaya got lonely, and Zaya was like, sad music, I've transitioned, but I'm feeling
not the recorded music.
Stop the show like some of you ladies are on Valentine's Day. Can I get a ooh sound?
And you guys. Oh wait, well we don't get prostitutes. We have self-respect.
Okay, so you guys got that. So because Zaya is lonely, Zaya decides to hook up with a young boy by the name of Hudson. Now Hudson is a boy, but Hudson used to be a girl.
Jesus Christ.
With female body parts. So yeah, that's what's going on now. So Zaya, who was a boy, gets with Hudson, who used to be a girl, and then now they are a interracial couple. So and then this photo comes out of Zaya and Hudson kissing. Can I be honest? YouTube, stop the show. Please do not flag me. I need my money. But what it looks like in this picture, with the both of them, it still looks like two
boys kissing.
Two of the same sex people. I mean, in this particular photo, it looks like Zaya is still a boy, and Hudson is a boy. But wasn't, let me just leave that alone, okay? Because you know what
You made it. You're career-driven and you're successful, but you struggle.
How old are they?
Intimacy issues.
They're like 13 or 14.
But how do you have all these decisions at that age?
Really
I was still listening to Radio Disney.
They're exposed to really.
Guys, it's not
like
Hollywood.
Understand. Because
that magic thing.
This is what's going on in the world today. All right. I used to live in Sacramento, and Sacramento is very close to San Francisco, and we all know what goes down in San Francisco in the Bay Area, and you would see a lot of things that you just didn't understand, if you know what I mean. And I think this is one of those situations. I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. But I guess one question is, if you switched to be a boy, but you were a girl, and Zaya was a boy and switched to be a girl, and the other boy was a girl wanting to be a boy, let's play a game of Negro Era, shall we? Is it A? I'm confused as hell. B, I'm very confused. C, I don't understand what's going on. D, all of the above.
D.
Jeopardy music!
I'm very confused.
The answer is D. All of the above. What am I really trying to say here?
Story.
I really don't.
O'Shea Jackson.
But what I believe though
just like Dwyane
is that
Yep.
things are going to become more and more confusing. I think what's going to happen to the general public as the general public continues to be more accepting of such situations, and now you see kids who are. Let me just say this. One thing I noticed about this generation, sex is becoming more, are not sex, but things in which people are showing more sexual intimacy is being more accepted at a younger age. Like, for example, this photo in the 90s, even if I had, if I had a girlfriend,
Yeah, you
and we were
just
14,
don't get in a
my
video
parents would
like
never post this picture of me and a girl. Like, even in the high school prom, we don't take photos like this. Just because you don't do that at that age, right? It's just not something you do. But why would you let somebody do that? These are teens. So what are you allowing teens to do? And I think that is this something like, is this like programming? I don't know. Because in our day, this was not acceptable. Like, imagine your daughter,
Okay. That being said, he's got his own opinions. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next part of the story, is where Dwyane Wade goes on the show. He starts talking about his own teenhood and how he was as a teen, and we're gonna go ahead and watch that and see.
at it again.
The different
episode of the Celebrity Junk. Guys, I want to talk about Dwyane Wade's conversation over at the Pivot podcast recently, where he opened up certain things about Zaya Wade, who was, that's his transsexual daughter now, but he was born Zion Wade as a male. And, Dwyane Wade opens up into some very discreet information about, what he saw Zion Wade doing as a little boy. He would notice that he would put on dresses, he would put on heels and things like that, which is not so uncommon, if you have sisters around and they're doing stuff. And I mean, it's not out of the world to see boys putting on their father stuff, putting on their mother stuff, playing with, male dolls, female dolls. It's not uncommon because kids are just doing what they see people doing when they're very, very young. Okay. And so Dwyane Wade said, well, when I was a kid, I put on that kind of stuff, and, I turned out to be heterosexual. So I didn't think anything was wrong with it.
As kids, I used to put on heels. I used to do all those things. I try to put on whatever my sisters wear. When one of my sisters did, I try to do those things. So at first, I said to myself, oh, no, I did that. So I ain't just doing the things that I did. As kids, I used to put on heels. I used to do all those things. I try to put on whatever my sisters wear. When one of my sisters did, I try to do those things. So at first, I said to myself, oh, no, I did that. So I ain't just doing the things that I did.
Why didn't they put the whistles of the birds? They should have put a bird whistle song.
As kids, I used to put on heels.
Okay, that's what he said. Mm-hmm.
Transgender daughter. It's worse. We could talk about children locked up in cages.
Well,
but
this is a very complex issue. A lot of people have a lot of opinions. I would like to show a YouTuber that I do follow. Her name is Courtney Coulson. She's a female to male to female transsexual. She was born female, then for several years she transitioned into a male, and then she transitioned back into a female. This is
do you guys see this
her detransition.
that's the perfect video. You get to see both. And how did you look after you went back? Because some of them can't shake off all
the voice has deepened much. This is when they first.
This is a video about detransitioning because
wow,
I've gone from one extreme to the other overnight without really telling anyone.
My goodness, the voice stayed. I'll be tight.
Explain things.
It's not that bad.
Nah, but niggas still gonna think
it
you're
was
tranny.
Last week or the week before, I went out and bought all these girl clothes.
Nah, she looks good. You
like
will see.
But you know,
I'm gonna show you the most recent video. She looks good. She looked like a woman.
No, she looks good. She looks completely female. It's just got a voice of a man.
I was always into boy things. Love Transformers.
And you got a vagina.
As a kid, I was actually my full adult
she's
height
a
at a very
lesbian,
young age, and wasn't into girl things. Didn't like makeup or wouldn't even wear skirts, would always wear pants.
You see, my whole issue with this is that it's all about these arbitrary worldly things. That's what they're basing gender on. That part pisses me off, because it's like, bro, all of this stuff is like not real. All
It's stuff.
this blue, oh, I like blue and I like to wear dresses and shit like that. Like, that has nothing to do with you as a person. It has to do with society and how you want to be seen. And I get all of that, but why do you have to
stop
and drug yourself and carve yourself, you know what I mean, to fit this mold where you probably won't even ever fit, because you're making yourself shift from one side to another.
Yep.
So you're gonna just cause yourself even more dysphoria,
confusion.
I have yet to see someone that's totally completely comfortable. Even that they do everything that they think they need to do, they still are not happy, and they still continue to have more surgery.
Oh, they'd be happy if they can get a fully functioning penis to fuck chicks, or if they can get a fully functioning vagina. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they be getting vaginas. I mean, I'm not sure about all fully.
They don't feel nothing. It's not the same.
Some do, some don't. It depends on how well the surgery goes, but it's very tricky, and it's very it's not necessarily that it's going to work out, you know. I know people that's in the middle of getting their surgeries had 3 and 4 surgeries, and it's still not completely set up yet. So, yeah.
And my friends growing up, they were both girls as well, but they were very much tomboys too. And so, yeah, that was just normal. And this was long before any of this transgender stuff was talked about, or non-binary. It was just, you're a tomboy, you just don't like typical girl things, and there's nothing wrong with that. It was the 90s and early 2000s, it was all like girl power, Spice Girls, whatever, you know. And when I turned 11, it was on my 11th birthday, actually. I got gastro. Yes, this is going somewhere, it's not CMI, just wait. So I got gastro, and I just suddenly changed after that. It was this autoimmune response.
It's her gut. The gut bacteria cause a hormonal imbalance.
Response, I suppose. And I had, IBS symptoms forevermore after that. But my personality changed, and people started to suspect it was autism. I basically had all the symptoms, sensory issues, social issues. I just totally changed overnight. But of course, when you're 11, you're going through puberty, kids just become all angsty and weird all of a sudden. That's normal, right? But no, in my case, there was more going on there. And I actually couldn't get diagnosed with autism until I was 19.
Yeah, so I'm now going to fast forward to like how she looked when she transitioned. Because if you guys want to see, I'll put the links in the bottom for the full videos of everything we watched today.
Changes, I was bulking up. I guess I can put some photos around somewhere.
You see, look. All right, so they posted some pictures here within the video of what they looked like when they were like at their male, and she said that she was only like 5'2".
Yeah, it looks like she didn't go all the way as a male.
Yeah, she did it. She didn't get her boobs removed. You see how small her boobs were? Wait till how big her boobs are now when she got off the drugs.
She's a small lady.
Yeah.
The voice stayed though.
Yeah.
She sounds like a grown man, and that's a natural born woman.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. It's a little. Look at Don't Call Me White Girl. She smokes mad cigs and she sounds deep.
No, that's woman deep. I used to think I used to have a deeper voice when I was younger.
Her voice is very deep.
No, it's deep, but it still sounds like a woman. Not light. I'm not talking about the lightness. It could sound raspy as hell, but you could still tell it's a female. This sounds like full dropped balls, big old pee. That's a man. You can hear the bass, like masculine bass. I've met women with deeper voices that don't call me white girl. There's this girl who works at the Dollar Tree around the corner from me. Her voice is deeper than mine. You know what I mean? So if she called me on the phone, I still know that's a chick. But that there, once she turned into a man, that shit stayed. It might go away after a while, but I don't know.
It probably won't. It's not reversible. You have to get surgery, really. Train your voice. Try to train yourself, just like how the transgender boy to girl, they have to train themselves to talk a certain type of way. Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see.
My voice is deeper, but it's not that deep. I think my voice is sort of in the lower female range because I
it's not
transitioned.
No, it's not.
Female to male. No, it's not.
Females. No,
and, like they're downhill, like Dr. Go for like Sweetie,
and that's worse.
I can definitely push it higher if I wanted to. It doesn't sound right just now.
Oh, now that sounds.
But for now, my natural range is sort of around here. I think it's kind of like Scarlett Johansson or something like that. It's not.
No,
it's not.
Don't do that to her.
For about a year or two, I felt great as a man. I was passing. I was the strongest I'd ever been. I didn't have to worry about all these social pressures and physical pressures of being a woman. I was very comfortable. I could wear flat shoes. No one gave a shit about what I was doing. And the fact that when you're a man, the thing is like, look, he's wearing pants. Let's just be glad he got those pants on. Good for him.
Whereas, low expectations.
Every girl's like, are you wearing mascara? You're not wearing mascara. You should have put on more mascara. Jesus Christ, Mom. It's so difficult. So I had a pretty good run there, and then got Chronic Fatigue Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I pushed myself way too hard. I was studying to be a librarian. I was studying online, actually, so I could continue for a while. I was still able to do a little bit of work from home, but eventually got to a point where it was not happening. Is this masculine? I don't know. I'm watching myself and going, am I still doing masculine things? I don't know. It's just... I definitely feel both genders for me are performance. I don't feel human. I don't feel male or female. I don't... human stuff. Who gives a shit? So, I'm very much... Okay, so these hand gestures...
Are you ready to see how she looks now?
Okay. But I think I hate that people are belittling that, it's just human. No, it's not human. Because you can't tell that to a woman that gets different treatment from a man, or a man treats her a certain way, or he gets away with things because he's a man. You know what I mean?
No. She's talking about the way you behave.
Oh, the mannerisms?
Yeah, she's saying like it feels like performance either way, like whether she's trying to be male or she's trying to be female. It feels like on an act, but it feels like that for everyone because it's all this socially engineered. It's not real. All of this shit, what we have to wear and how we're supposed to look and what we're supposed to do.
And then when you see a lot of New York dykes, they act like the niggas from New York. It's
like even the name. Like I remember when I was a teenager, the butch lesbians, they were called aggressive. AGs.
Yeah,
AGs and aggressives. Yeah, so like the whole point of you being male means that you're going to be aggressive. That's very telling. Yeah, let's go to see how she looks. This is her now. This is how. Let me see how long difference it was. It's actually only a year, probably a year and change ago.
Wow.
My name is Courtney Coulson, a female to male to female detransitioner, and on this channel,
looks the same to me.
What's wrong with me?
Just did her hair.
This episode.
Hold on, let me show you the tits, man. The tits are huge.
Oh, she went and got them done?
No, they got bigger after this surgery.
On this channel, we try to figure out just what the hell is wrong with me.
After the what?
In this episode,
after she came off the male hormones.
So she was flat-chested before.
Went
on the male hormones. Okay, because I guess her body went into extreme. It went into rescue mode. Like, if we're gonna go back, we're gonna go back. That's wild. You got bigger breasts. Yeah, you told me about that last week.
Yeah.
She had bigger breasts.
Yep. And let's see, she was talking, the reason why I went, she was
Mine
talking about
intersex people.
children.
Intersex people, you don't even understand how they work, first of all. And I realize that now. You know, I was so determined to become a thing I couldn't become. And I was unhappy. I was deeply miserable. And a lot of transgender people are deeply miserable. They're constantly chasing this goal they'll never reach. Children will experiment with identity. That is perfectly normal. They've just come into this world and they're trying to figure out their place in it and what they like and who they are. And yeah, of course kids are going to say from one day to the, oh, I'm a boy, oh, I'm a girl. Depending on how their parents react, that will influence what they say. Or I'm Optimus Prime, I'm Batman. They're just playing around, but now adults go, oh, you said you're the opposite sex? Oh, wow, honey, well, I'm just going to get you to a gender clinic immediately. No, calm down. And here's the other thing. So here's the other nefarious player. The Munchausen's by proxy mother. Photo unrelated. But you know, sometimes it's fathers, but very, very rarely. It's mostly mothers who wanted a daughter, who don't want a gay son. It's very rarely it's transitioning girls to boys, but that does happen. That seems to happen more often with trans men mothers. So a trans man will give birth to a daughter, and then, you know, when she's old enough to talk, suddenly she wants...
What do you say?
A trans man gives birth to
a trans man, meaning a woman that changed into
a man, right? Gives birth to a...
Yeah, will have a daughter probably in their male state after they had already transitioned, and they have a daughter, and then they say she's gonna say that, you know, at some point during childhood, they say, oh, little Sally wants to be a boy.
Okay. To be a boy just like mummy. It's very, very confusing. And don't even get me started on how fucked it is for a trans man to want to get pregnant. That is the most feminine female thing you could do in the whole world. And that should be your worst nightmare as a trans man. As a trans man, former trans man, to me that was disgusting. I found that ridiculous. And I was always really critical of the trans community and a lot of the bullshit they did. So that's why I fell under the trans medicalist camp, where it's like, well, I've got more conservative, more scientific-based ideas about what transgender is, but these people are, no, pregnancy is not a female thing, it is a non-gendered thing, and, you know, we're chest feeders, we're not breastfeeding, and we're not pregnant women, we're pregnant people. Fuck off. And again, invading women's spaces and taking away our words, our language, and yet men don't face this. They're not penis havers, they're not ejaculators, they're just men. Children are not fully formed individuals. There's all these nefarious articles out there now saying, from therapists, like child therapists, saying, oh yes, no, children absolutely know who they are from the moment they can talk. You're a child psychiatrist, you know that everything a child says is bullshit. It's usually just babble, it's not even English, it's just gibberish. How do they know what they are? Oh my god. I mean, even gay kids don't really know they're gay. I don't think there's anywhere that's legal to put minors on cross-sex, wrong-sex hormones, but they do give them puberty blockers. And that should never ever have been allowed to happen. Because that shit is lethal. It will destroy your skeletal system, your brain development. It will ruin you for life. And all I ever heard in the news when I was trans was, oh, it just pauses puberty. It doesn't cause any damage. And, okay, it makes them infertile, so what? As someone who wants to become a mother now, if my mother had been told, this is the only way that your daughter won't kill herself, and that's the thing, they always use that, oh, well, your child's going to kill themselves. They're not going to do that. If you transition them, they might. Everyone commits suicide, doesn't matter what group you're a part of, but mutilating them at a young age before they know what they're doing, yeah, that'll definitely do it. Yeah. But, yeah, oh, well, you absolutely must give me puberty blockers. Yeah, if my mum had been convinced to do that, I'd be devastated. As a 30-year-old woman now, you know, if I was this manling thing, half-man creature.
She said manling. What? Was this man?
Like a little man. Manly.
Is it a manling? Okay. That cracked me up because she's like 5'2". She was like a little manling. She said she wasn't a man, she wasn't a woman, she was just like a little manling.
Manly. Just in between.
Oh God. She's like a baby man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she infantized the word. Manly.
Oh my God, that shouldn't be as funny as it was. Holy. She said a manling.
A manling or whatever.
You know, my skeletal development, my body hair, all of that, everything would have been much more masculine. And there would have been no undoing that. I would have looked like a man in a dress forever. And I am just so thankful that I was not trans as a child. I was not pressured into this sort of thing. It didn't exist in the 90s.
Can you imagine?
And the idea that you would put these kids on this thing that is going to increase their gender dysphoria. They're going to feel disconnected from their body, from their peers who are going through sexual changes, while this kid who's on, I think it's a Lupron, is not changing, is not developing, is going to have more anxiety, is going to have a lot of issues with weight and bone density, image unrelated. So yes, kids can never be trans. It's impossible. They are not old enough to know what they're doing. This is just body modification. This is not some, oh, you're spiritually born to be the other sex. No, it's all freaking bullshit. It is just a mental illness, and children should definitely be given the space to explore and figure it out. Transitioning should absolutely be the last resort. So yeah, breaking it down to its most fundamental thing. Back in the day, transsexuality was just a mental illness. It still is. That has never changed. Don't be fooled by all this other really confusing rhetoric and language and all of that. These are people who have a very serious condition. It's very sad. It can be lifelong. And these people do deserve respect. They do deserve good, safe, proper medical treatment. And that is the thing I'm fighting for. And if I'm a monster and I'm a TERF because of that, well, look, I'm partying it up in hell because I don't give a shit. I don't have any regrets for trying to help people. And
it's funny.
That's basically it. The whole idea of sex and gender being different, no. Gender is a cultural construct. They're gender stereotypes. You're either a man or a woman. And a man and a woman, they can be whatever they want. They can do whatever they want with their hair, their makeup, whatever. No one's telling you that you have to pretend to be the opposite sex to do what you want. How did we become so regressive? You know, there was a time where we had Prince and Annie Lennox and David Bowie and all these people who just said, fuck you, I don't care what sex I am, I'll do whatever I want. Why can't we get back to that?
But it wasn't just about looking a little like
I think sex. In some very...
Yeah, sugar in their tank.
Not necessarily.
What, you gonna bring up Prince?
Prince still had a girlfriend. Prince still had girlfriends. Called Rick James still had girlfriends. They all still fucked with girls.
But
maybe they still had some sugar in their tank.
Yeah, Prince was.
A lot of people do. And it doesn't have to become a whole gender thing. That's what she's trying to say. It doesn't have to become a whole, like, okay, you have to change yourself now.
Yeah, you don't have to change yourself.
You can just be who you are and like what you like and wear frills if you want to wear frills if you're a boy. You know what I mean? If you want to be fancy.
We're just saying, we know if you acting a little girly and stuff, you got sugar in your tank, you could date all the girls you want in public, but we still know.
Yeah.
And it's not to shame, it's not to say, oh, it's a secret, you know, but it's like, come on, we're not going to stand bullshit and be like, you like to dress like a little fairy. Not saying that y'all look like fairies when you dress like girls. I'm saying the people that like to, go all out, the tiny skirts and the
So you don't think that it's possible that a boy that likes pussy could also like to dress fancy and like wear tights and stuff?
Oh, fancy's different from this fancy. I mean, it's just.
When I say fancy, I mean like Prince, dress like Prince, but love pussy.
He says. That's what you show the public.
I think it's possible. You don't think it's possible that a man could be?
You can, but still. I never meet no guy who's a girly man.
I just don't think that your expression, the way you express yourself through clothing, necessarily needs your gender. Because you could be a girl who loves wearing sweatpants and just dressing masculine. Just you look like a hood nigga, a hood booger, called weed dealer on the corner. You look like that. You like boys. You like fucking boys. You bend over for boys. You don't do girls.
Well, girls like that, they usually have their hair done and, they've got something going
on. Not all the time. Not all the time. Not all the time.
Ain't no butch that likes.
I've seen butches there's butches that have sex with boys. Yep. Sometimes they have to hide it too because they're in the gay world, but they have to hide the fact that they fuck boys.
And they all like both. Everybody likes both. I like dogs. How about that? I get the peanut butter and everything.
Ew.
Can I still wear a dress?
Yeah, right.
We play too much.
Yeah, I think they give women a lot more leeway. Like, you know what I mean? You could dress like a boy all day and they still will accept the fact that you still like boys.
Yeah.
Will be acceptable, But you can't be a little fancy ass boy with
fancy,
really small shorts and a crop top and still like pussy. It's not possible.
Fancy. You mean fancy or girly? Because that to me, there's a difference.
Like wearing fabrics that boys don't usually wear, wearing cuts that boys don't usually wear. That's what I mean. Okay. So not necessarily girly, yeah, girly, yes, but more so fancy. So frilly, taffety type of shit. You know what I mean? Tight shit.
Like a pirate.
Like a fancy. Yeah.
Captain Hook.
Yeah.
That's how they call them.
Very rare cases. Gender dysphoria is lifelong. These people just don't seem to feel better doing anything else but transitioning. And it seems to work for some people. I know some people in the 60s and 70s who transitioned a long time ago. But we also have to be aware that these procedures, a lot of the time, do not work. Hormone replacement therapy, in my case, and in the case of many other people, causes autoimmune disease. It causes fibromyalgia, arthritis, chronic fatigue syndrome. It causes depression and anxiety. There are studies now that show that gender dysphoria isn't really treated by transitioning. And yeah, there may be some rare exceptions who feel better. Maybe for a little while, maybe forever. But what I need people to understand is that these procedures don't really work. This is not good enough. I think transgender people deserve better. Transsexuals, as we should be rightly calling them, deserve better. The penises and the vaginas, the neo-vaginas and these arm flesh penises that they make, that's barbaric. That is a joke. That is just asking for disease, and a lot of them do become infected. Some of them do need to be amputated. The trans community minimizes as much as possible the risks, the failures. It's almost like the vegan community. Oh, well, they're ex-vegan because they just didn't know how to do it right. No, these people are giving it their all. They have the right mindset. It's just the medical community is taking advantage, especially plastic surgeons. They are absolute vultures. and they will tell you what you want to hear, and they will convince you that you really can become the opposite sex and pass. It's atrocious. So, I think that about covers everything. I don't think gender is real. I'm a gender atheist. I think transsexuality is real. I think gender dysphoria is real. I don't think surgery and hormones are the only answer. I will allow adults to do whatever body modification they want, but they need to be properly informed, and these procedures need to be more closely examined and reach a certain standard, because right now they're experimental. They are dangerous and experimental. And children should never, ever, ever
ever.
I think that's... I don't think that's controversial, but I'm sure someone will argue with me. Alright, until next time, see you, Space Cowboy.
I have to agree. I think well thought out. You know what I mean? Because the amount of injuries that she's actually even sustained herself, you know, just by taking the reverse hormones. I showed you that she had a phantom pregnancy too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm gonna show like 2 seconds of. Because
most important thing and the biggest insight that we were able to take away from.
My name is Courtney Coulson, a female to male to female detransitioner, and on this channel we try to figure out what the hell's wrong with me. Clearly today there's something a little bit wrong with me, a little bit different, a little more fuller figured, as you can see. And that's possibly a third false pregnancy.
Third time it's happened
I haven't heard anyone
in 1
else
year.
experience this, but since detransitioning, my hormones have just been doing some weird things. I mean, I've had all the blood tests and everything seemed normal, but when I first detransitioned, for about 3 months, I was just bloated, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. My waist is normally 70 centimeters. This is 80, about 80, 82. And I can put a photo here.
Look.
When I had my first false pregnancy, I got up to 92 centimeters. So it was 22 centimeters bigger. It was huge. It was just so painful. And thankfully I don't have any stretch marks I can show you there. And it's just so solid. I get so suck it in. But it's still sticking out a lot. There's not a lot of difference there. And
I wonder if it's her guts or her uterus that's getting big like that.
Good question. Could be both.
You know what? Before she did the thing, she had some gastric problems since she was 11 years old. She's been having gastric problems.
Could be that. Could have amped it up.
Yeah, it's definitely
messing with your hormones now.
Definitely inflamed it. And let me see if I could show the community tab. Says gender hormones will affect. Hold on. This other way. It says gender affirming hormones will affect their immune system can arise. He says, for example, a young person with a strong family history of autoimmune disease may wish to know if hormonal therapy will increase or decrease their risk of developing disease. Others may worry about hormones altering their susceptibility to infections, which is relevant given the current COVID-19 pandemic. At this stage, we don't know the answers to such questions, and research is an important first step. To which she said, you don't know? Then why the fuck was it prescribed to me?
Because you're a lab rat. And pay attention to the paperwork you sign.
Yep.
Pay attention.
Look, wrong sex hormones can cause autoimmune disorders. This has got to stop. I don't care how many times I get called a TERF. So many trans people have chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. It's no coincidence I nearly committed suicide to escape the pain too. This is medical abuse. See, so there's a lot to it. It's not so one-dimensional. It's important to, you know what I mean? As much as we want to embrace people, we want to allow people to express themselves and be who they are, we also have to do it safely, you know? You can't just be just running in and doing whatever just based on the medical community, because, you know, the medical community is not always being upfront and forthright with, you know, how they do things. And a lot of the stuff that they're doing is experimental, you know, and it's being sold as if it's... Any last thoughts on this whole issue?
People run to turning into a boy or a girl transitioning the same way bitches hurry up and go get a fat ass and some titties.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's because it's like when you little and you want to be certain things, like, you know, when Macho was little, he would say, I want to be a butterfly. You know, it's an impossible thing. It's a thing a kid says. And then, you know, you think of these things as you grow up. I wish I could have wings. I wish I could do this. And then when you grow up, they're like, oh, we can make that for you.
Yeah.
Word? And it's like, wow, y'all niggas out here got some fucking money, huh? To play with. Fuck the poor. I want titties. You know, so
Yeah.
I don't know. People can do what they want, but it's like, I don't know. It's too much.
Adults should be able to do what they want, but everything needs to be completely transparent so people can know what's going on. You know what I mean? Not just, you know, told what they want to hear and then given life-altering substances.
And leave the kids out of it.
Yeah, and leave the children out of it. Allow them to develop on their own and then come to their own conclusions. And don't and actually have a proper process in order to understand where people are with it. And, you know, we don't assume that everyone is the same and everyone needs to be running right onto those drugs, because, you know, once you go on them, it can alter you. And there are certain risks, a lot of risks.
Yeah, but it's like people just like screw the risk. They be like, screw the risk, they just want to do it. The more disgusting part is the parents that are like sitting there. You ever see the parents, they sit there and be like, my baby's gay? Or these parents that are transitioning their kids because I didn't want a boy. I didn't want a
Yeah, and you know, I think that these gender reveals has a lot to do with it. This brand new, all that gender reveal stuff is new. Just started doing that, so it's got a lot to do with it. People being so fixated on what the gender of the kid is, and you know, being upset or happy about it and all of that. It's like, bro, you're supposed to know when the kid is born what they are and just accept it. You know what I mean? It just is what it is.
Change it.
Let them come to whatever conclusion. If they want to be gay, if they not want to be gay, if they are gay, or if they that's what they are. You know what I mean? Let that develop naturally. You know, there shouldn't be opinions about it.
That's just some wild shit. I'm so sorry. It's just wild to me that people really be like, I wanted a boy, so here, take these pills. It's really crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know if it's so cut and dry like that. Oh, I wanted a boy, and then they literally tried to make their kid turn a certain way. I'm sure there's a lot of those Munchausen type of situations, but I think it's encouraged, especially if you happen to be gay. Like Courtney was saying, you know what I mean? If you be gay, but they wanted a girl, like, why don't you just become a girl? Because you're a girly. Like, why don't you just be a girl, you know? It's an easy sell, because it's like, it's much more comfortable for you, or maybe even the kid, because they won't have to be, they could get accepted, especially if they could pass, you know?
Yeah.
That's why
I think one of the gifts you could give your kid is letting them make choices, but nothing crazy. Nothing out the...
Yeah, I mean, and nothing that's going to be life-changing early in the game before they even know how to think. You don't even know before you're even 24 years old. I swear how to think. You don't want to, you just got all these brand new tools, and you're just running with them. before you're 24 years old. I believe that wholeheartedly, especially from a woman, and a man way after that.
I feel bad. I'm thinking of Dwyane Wade's kid. I'm like, did something happen? And did Dwyane Wade go on the TV? Because it's like, I have a son that's coming out like this. And I feel bad because when you a daddy and you're a parent, you want to protect your kid because you love them so much. That's a little boo-boo bear. Yeah. But it's like, your boo-boo bear came out and said he wants to do something else. And you like, you know what, let me just go on TV and say, I wore dresses and stuff. Your big ass ain't with no shoes and no dresses.
I think you did.
He probably did.
I think you did. And I think that it probably has a lot to do with the fact that the way that he situation. You know?
Yeah.
With the way that he handled the situation, why he's so and like he's pushing it forward. It's like you didn't allow the kid to like develop behind the scenes. You allowed them to go like into the limelight. Even as child performer, like that's really a lot of pressure. So imagine like go through this whole like, imagine he wakes up, so she wakes up tomorrow and decides she doesn't want to be a girl anymore. You know what I mean? What then? She already told the world, and now a lot of people was following her example. A lot of people was counting on her to do this and that and other. You know what I mean? Like that's too much pressure. That's way too much pressure. So now what? She can't even change her mind.
Hey, it's Hollywood. I'm gonna tell you what the great Janice Forbes once said, darling. It's Hollywood. They're all holograms, not real, and it's all a fucking mess. She went upstairs with her tea.
It's all to get us thinking a certain type of way, I guess.
And then a lot of times it's rituals, just like with TikTok, when everybody was climbing up on them crates and stuff, and then somebody showed you what you was actually doing. That's all it is. Everybody has to play a role. You want your money, you want your fame, you like your career, you better do what we say, or we'll ruin it or take it from you. Bottom line. And that's what it is. Yes. Love you. That's Hollywood.
Yep.
That's all it is. That's why the Megan story and all that. Listen, there's kids in cages somewhere waiting to get sold to get their ass busted and stuff.
Oh, shit.
You understand? That's more important. But this is important, just as important. I'm not going to dismiss it because this affects people's families. And if we let this shit slide and not talk about it.
Yeah. What else? Like, what else is going to slide? You get what I'm saying? Then now they're encroaching on the children, and you have to take that seriously. It's not no joke thing. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
It's our children, and we should draw a hard line about this. I don't think it should be controversial at all.
Yeah, and well, you know, they have now they got what you call a transgender bathroom. So I think they have people that are allowed to go in the same bathroom. I don't know. Me and the kids was at Target yesterday, and we just saw a man come in the bathroom with us. We was like, "What the hell is that?" And then I had to think. I'm like, "Wait a minute, he might have a vagina."
Yep.
You know. So I was like, "Okay." I just didn't say anything to the kids. I was just like, "Hey, gotta use the bathroom. Gotta use the bathroom. Maybe the men's bathroom is full." You know. What else do you tell little babies?
Yeah.
And that's that. But yeah, I'm not dismissing it. I just see it. I think my dismissal, in a sense, comes from them being celebrities, and that this more so affects the people that aren't famous and stuff, because they emulate y'all, and most of the time y'all are just being told what to do and putting on a play.
End of the day, it's all politics. You know what I mean? It's all trying to gear us up for the next thing, you know, to make us comfortable for the next thing. So we have to just be careful about what is it that we're doing and what we're allowing to become a mainstream staple in our society. The last story that I wanted to bring up is just Donald Trump, another person that is controversial in society. He's had an interview with another person that is controversial, who's controversial actually in the UK where I live, and I'm gonna go ahead and share that clip from that interview where he talks about his time as president and what he feels that he did during the pandemic.
I like that word. Pandemic.
Pandemic, which it was a pandemic because people were just going crazy. It wasn't even, wasn't even realistic. Let's go.
Accept that only against mandates, but I'm very proud of what we did. I saved worldwide tens of millions of lives.
One last question. Do you accept that early on in the pandemic that you didn't take it seriously enough, or you were being told how serious it was?
No, I don't accept.
You weren't sharing that with the American people.
I'm a cheerleader for this country. I want to be positive for this country. I take everything seriously, and I took that very seriously. But I'm a cheerleader for the country, and our country came out of it better than anybody else. We've done a great job.
My final question, President Trump. It's been good to catch up with you after this lengthy time. I haven't mentioned.
That's it.
No, yeah.
Last question 4 times.
No, I realise that. I realise I'm not lying.
Very dissent.
I just haven't asked you
You're
about.
very dissent. This was a 20-minute interview.
I'm sorry.
Listen, this was a 20-minute interview.
Don't you think?
I think it's fine. It's fine.
I haven't asked
it's
about.
fantastic in your opinion.
I wanted to end with the hole-in-one. I haven't asked about the hole-in-one. Congratulations on the hole-in-one.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for a great interview.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
it. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go.
That was a great interview.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you very much. I'm really
Yeah, it was fine.
Turn the camera off.
Just turn the camera off.
Do you guys see this?
It's tight.
He said, no, it was good. It was good.
You said in your opinion. Yeah, this is good. Yep, so that's DD Trump. DJ. Oh, I said VD Trump, but it didn't sound like DJ.
The Donalds.
Yeah. So
we did a good
politics, guys. We went through quite a few things in this episode here. All the current events and, all the controversial items that we had to talk about for the month, I guess, for this period.
Yeah.
We're going to be back as soon as possible with some more hot takes and some more hot goss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this episode. It was very grown up.
Yes.
And I hope I didn't offend anyone. Please don't be offended.
Yeah. I hope I didn't offend anyone
stuff like that.
With my laughter about the manling, because that word right there.
That was funny. Manling. Manling.
Oh my God. I thank you very much, everybody. We both thank you for joining us here for DopeDilla TV Radio. I've been Lena Created.
And Cleo Badashian.
And you guys have a great night.
See ya. Love ya. Mwah. Bye.
DopeDilla, vote bigger than your nigga.